Glad you could join us tonight. Tonight we got two very special guests. We have Erika Froze and also Maureen, and you'll be able to hear more about their stories coming up. But I just want to go through a few things here about um, if you've joined us for the first time, every time you log in and watch us to the end, you end up getting a ballot put in for your attendance. And if you attend to the end, you get that ballot. And at every time you tune in, every once a week, if you do it 4 times, then you get 4 ballots. And at the end of the month, into the first week of the next month, we give away one of the Palm Ultimates. And this device here, it has the two wavelengths. It has the 660 wavelength and the 810 nanometer wavelength. So here's the 660, very, very powerful, and can go in and treat various areas of the body. And then we have the near infrared, which penetrates even much deeper than the red. And so with that, this device is a $1,300 device, and we will be giving that away at the end of the month, using the random random number generator that allows us to link into whose ballot wins. So I want to thank you for joining us tonight. I think you'll find it fascinating. Now, we will be talking to both guests, and then at the end of our talking session, I'll go through a little bit more about our light technology. And with that, I'll just share a little more about our devices, and then we'll go into questions through the chat. So you can type your questions away for either Erika or Maureen, and you'll be able to get their input on how they with your question. And you can ask other questions as well that I hope the best I can answer. So let's get right now started. So I would like to invite Erika. Erika, if you can turn on your camera and your audio, and we'll get started. There we go. Hi, Erika.
Hi, Tom.
There we go. We got audio. We're all good. We're all good.
Here.
So, Erika, first of all, how did we've kind of grown up in the backyard of each other, right? In
Hmm.
Niagara-on-Lake, Ontario.
Hmm.
And tell me, how did we first end up meeting after that?
Um, so we re-met
Right?
when my cousin died, and at his memorial service we were talking.
Oh, is that okay? Which cousin? Sorry, I'm trying to think which cousin because there's.
Victor.
Oh, okay, Victor. Yeah, it was my
Uh,
very good friend, really
that's
good friend, close
my
friend.
cousin, your good friend,
Yeah, we
right?
grew
And
up. We grew up together, and we did all sorts of crazy things. And it's a miracle that we're still alive because of some of the things that we did as in our high school days. So
yeah,
somehow
but
God decided to keep us alive, and he lived till a while ago, and then unfortunately succumbed to cancer.
that's right.
Um,
That's
and
right. Yeah.
yeah, so
And it was at his memorial service that you and I reconnected.
isn't that something? I totally forgotten. So from there, somehow, how did we get into the discussion about the light, or was I just, you know,
So yeah, so that would have been about very early spring, maybe 2020, or even in 2019. That would be my recollection, because we got talking, and I told you that I had a chronic back issue, and then
yeah.
you said I work with light technology, and one thing led to another, and I ended up buying, based on your recommendations, I ended up buying your Genesis, the original. So,
Oh, really?
oh,
Okay.
as well as the other things that are in the program of the lights that I have, I also have the Genesis.
Isn't that interesting?
Mhm.
Okay.
I
So
heard
that
that.
goes, that's 2019 then, because it wasn't until 2020 that I started, somewhere in 2020, I had the canopy, I think 2020 or late 2020 or early 2021. I'm not sure exactly, but somewhere in there.
2020. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All
Yep.
right.
So it was,
Um,
so I had your Genesis prior
okay.
to that, based on our conversation. Yes,
Yeah, was that the so the first light that I made, was that the one in the white case that looked like an overstyled hair dryer?
correct.
Okay, all right. So that one there was before LED, before I started working with LED technology for light therapy. That was one that I had developed almost well, I think it was about 18 prior to that, it was about 18 years ago that I started building that device. 18, 19 years. Maybe now it's 20. You know, for some reason the dates keep moving. You got to keep working on them. But yeah, so I built that light and it helped a lot of people. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if it didn't give you some help. That was a halogen bulb with a special water filter in the front of it. And it looked like a big hair dryer
That's
over,
right.
and
And
you
it,
could hold it on different parts of the body. And so you use that in the beginning.
I
Uh,
used that in the beginning, and the results of that were such that I was further interested.
Yeah, it was,
Yeah.
but it took a lot of time to do the different spots. And then we
Yeah,
talked about it.
yeah,
And then I
and
had,
then
yeah,
because of the depth of it, and because I was doing my back, it wasn't very easy,
right,
because you've
right.
got like this big device in that you have to somehow hold against your back.
I have improved things, this is a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
smaller,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
but
and that's why I bought four of those.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And you ended up helping a lot of people, but why do you have back pain? What happened?
Okay, so when I was a young teenager, in fact, I think I was 14 years old. Of all things, at a youth retreat, we went tobogganing. The youth group went tobogganing, and my toboggan went airborne and over some hill, and I crashed down onto my tailbone. I broke my tailbone, and did severe permanent damage to my lower spine. And so the rest of my life, particularly as I've aged, has been a huge struggle for me. Yeah, with
And
many weeks of my life dealing with chronic pain. Yeah.
yeah, and did you end up doing any surgeries or not?
No, so I eventually I was sent to a neurologist, and they said the only thing they could do with for me was send me to the pain clinic. That was the one thing, and that was what they recommended, or surgery, and if it was at all possible, not to do the surgery.
Yeah, and
Mhm.
surgery can be wonderful sometimes, but other times it can even make things worse. So,
That's what they said. As long as you can live with it, try to live with it. And they referred me to the pain clinic, and that was something that I really didn't want to do. So I was
yeah,
looking for some more natural way to be able to cope.
right, right. So what kinds of things were difficult for you for a day's like a day's operation, what you do at home or whatever.
So what was probably the hardest part for me was anything bending over. Um,
Okay.
yeah, my back just got to the point where I really couldn't do that anymore. It was even when the children were younger. I have five children. I don't think that helped my back situation. But even giving them a bath when they were little was very difficult for me. And uh, as everybody knows, bending over is a part of daily life. You need to be
Yeah.
able to bend over, right? Just to do anything.
Yeah.
And yeah, and that was with a lot of pain. Mhm.
So what as far as like I think if I remember I mean different ones have different gifts and yours is hospitality if I remember correctly. You really like to cook up a storm. Is that not
Okay,
correct?
yeah, yeah. Well, so the back problems progressed to the point where I had a lot of problems standing. I couldn't really stand anymore. And so when you're cooking, and even just having the five children, five daughter-in-laws, and 13 grandchildren, we do a fair amount of cooking.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it was a huge problem, a problem for me. So I had difficulty walking, I had difficulty standing. I thankfully I was able to sleep okay. As long as my mattress is as stiff as a board, I could sleep. But and sitting was okay, not too long, but
Mhm.
so yeah, it was tough managing
Right.
my back and a busy life with a large family, plus a business.
Right. So so you got the handheld that offered a little bit of help in your situation.
So, yes, after I met you, we talked, and that's when I bought your Genesis light device, and I used it long enough because I had done all kinds of, as you can imagine, physiotherapy, exercise, chiropractor, osteopath, you name it, I did it. I
Hmm.
tried, and nothing held for very long. When I say very long, not much more than an hour. So it really didn't hold at all. But when I used your Genesis, I found that I was getting relief for a longer period of time. And that was the only thing that I had tried to that point where I was getting more relief. So it was something, okay, all of that other stuff didn't work, but let's focus in on this. And
Right.
and
Right.
and then that's when I came to you, and then we talked, and you had just come out with your red light.
The
Um,
bigger one, the mini canopy at that. Or did I have
it
sorry,
was
first the
it
small
was the
ones?
no, it was the full canopy. You may have
Okay.
had you may have
Yeah, I
had
think they came out at like I was working on both at the same time. So I had these smaller ones as well as the bigger one. And this was now during COVID. It was 2020, the beginning of 2020, in that stage when I was looking at trying to help people with lung issues. And so there was
right.
evidence that that could help for that. And we ran some trials. We built this device that was called the Mini Canopy, which we'll show in a little bit. It's like a foot square. And then we did the large canopy, which was the one that's 3 feet by 6 feet. And just because my IT guy is really under the weather tonight. And anybody out there that prays, you can pray for Sam. He's having a rough time, but he's behind the scenes and helping me on things. But I'll just show one thing to the viewers. I'll do it this way because this way I can show it that people can have a look at what I'm talking about because I don't have the let's see, here we go. This is our mini canopy. And at the time, I had just built one of these, and then I was talking to you about making one that's a bigger area because you wanted to do your whole back in one shot, is what we're
That's
looking at.
correct.
So this one here, just to give you an idea, there is the red wavelength, and you can see it's quite intense. And then we have the near infrared, which doesn't look very impressive right now, but that's the 810 nanometer. And I'll just kind of cover it and you can kind of see the purplish dots there. That's the 810 nanometer. And I had built from what we determined in the beginning, we didn't have our handle on the 810. We had 850 and another wavelength 950. And we built that unit with you in mind to see how we could try and help and you decided to get the very big canopy. That's so the big canopy is six of these devices, end to end. So 3 by 2 wide. And that covers an area of about 3 feet by 2 feet. This is what it looks like. I just do it this way. You can see that it covers oops, it's not very focused. There you go. It covers a larger area of the body, and that's what you were able to go under. And what did you find as soon as I was able to make it? You had to wait for a while for me to make it, but
I did.
and
I did.
you trusted that I would follow through. It was a lot of money to try and build this thing. The large canopy is like 35,000 just for people to get an idea. But you had a chronic back condition that
Yep.
was not going to get better any
Nope.
which way you tried.
Nope. 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 So
And so it wasn't kind of just staying level. It was slowly going downhill, wasn't it? I think, weren't you even looking at the possibility that that was going towards a wheelchair direction?
yep. Yep. It was horrible. Yeah. There was no more quality of life. And on my mind was always my pain, right? Like imagine that is the thing that dominates your space, your mental space the
Yeah.
most.
You
Yeah,
get
like
up,
that.
it's pain. You go to the washroom, it's pain. You go take a
Yep,
shower, it's pain. It's
yep.
it's
Always
like
managing,
throughout the day. And
always
I
managing. Mhm.
people may or may not know. Well, I think I mentioned it a couple times, but I ended up falling off a ladder, second floor height, and I landed on my back, and I injured my back, L4, L5, and the pain that I would go through sometimes uh, every year to 2 years, I'd be in so much pain. It was just over the top, and I can't, same thing. You were going through extreme pain, with maybe a little bit of change, but generally was not nice. Hard to go through. Now, my situation, I was only at it for 3 to 4 months, 3 to 4 to 5 months with this pain, but in your case, it wouldn't let up. It was there all the time.
It was
And
to some degree, it was always
yeah,
there. I was just my life was managing it.
yeah, yeah. And then you got the large canopy. We dropped it off at your house. And what happened from there?
Yeah.
What was happening along?
So I can say that I got it July 10th, 2020. I remember that. And after the seventh time of using it, I really, after the seventh time, I said to myself, this is something, this is working. Because the relief from the pain was lasting for hours, uh, as opposed to no relief. It was lasting for hours. And I knew I was onto something at that point in time. And
Hmm.
so I think like a huge anti-inflammatory quality to it. And because after 7 times, it's not really healing anything yet at that time, but
Right.
you get the benefit of the anti-inflammatory without taking any medication. And I will suggest to you that the anti-inflammatory properties of the red light, at least of the large canopy, were so significant that it rivaled any anti-inflammatory pain management medication that I would take.
And
So it was,
you were trying different medications. You
and
tried
I would have
everything.
tried different medications, of course, right? Because you can't always cope.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there
It's
are
just,
times where I have to do something, like if I'm cooking for Christmas, I have to cook for Christmas. I have to get through that. And then I would take medication to help me through that.
yeah. Yeah. And then that medication also has its challenges of what
Absolutely.
it
So
does.
I really didn't want to do that as much as possible. And I think that's why I had as much pain as I did, because I was trying to do everything as naturally as possible. So here with the red light, I found something that gave me pain relief for an extended period of time, and it's completely natural.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So then, at longer term, as you continued to use it month after month, what ended up happening?
Yeah, I would say after 3 months, I could really tell that that it was better. It was better. And yeah, and it continued to get better. I used my light regularly for years. And as long as I didn't do very hard work, like
Mhm.
not hours in the garden or something like that, one of my favorite things to do is be in my garden. So imagine how hard that is if your favorite thing to do is be in your garden and you can't do that, right?
Yeah,
Couldn't use a shovel, couldn't lift it, right? So yeah, like I was able to be back in my garden. I obviously in moderation. It was
yeah,
not something that yeah, like I couldn't work like a healthy person, but as long as it was in moderation, I was to a life where I had no pain. Yeah.
yeah. That's beautiful. Now,
Mhm.
some have asked me, well, I don't know, it's rather bright. Could it be harmful to my eyes? And I say, no, it's not harmful to your eyes. As a matter of fact, we've been able to help people with their eye issues. And do I remember something about eye issues for yourself?
No, I
Okay.
don't believe
Okay.
so.
I had the gift to be able to go back and listen to one of the other interviews that you did way back. This is going back way back in the early stage. You had problem with your eyes watering really bad.
You're
And
right.
then you noticed, okay, I'm remembering correctly, right?
You're right. Sorry, I forgot about that.
So what happened there? Like, so you had a problem.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have dry eye syndrome. So that's what, and so if I any weather outside, any bit of wind, cold weather, even without wind, cold weather will cause my eyes to tear and like really tear. They are like running. And the use of the light, what I believe it does is you have all of these uh, like fat pockets in your eyelids,
Tear ducts, yeah.
tear ducts. But I think it's more than tear ducts. There's all kinds of little fat cells in there that lubricate your eye. So your eye isn't just lubricated with liquid like the salty tear that you have. There is a fat layer in there, and every time you blink, you move this fat layer over your eye. So for people with dry eye syndrome, this is very simplified, okay, because I'm no expert. For people with dry eye syndrome, that gets hard. And so it doesn't lubricate anymore. It actually smears a little bit. So it's kind of hard to see. Then you're always blinking because it's kind of smeary in front of your eyes. But when you use the red light, it melts that, similar to using an eye mask. And it had done kind of like a longer term effect that I
Mhm.
wasn't nearly as impacted by the dry eye syndrome. I still have it. I still had it, and I am on medication for that.
Right.
But way better with the light. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you
So
for reminding me.
you've been also one of my great proponents, advocates of using the Palm Light, one of these devices out there.
Yes.
And you have some friends that have been using it. What kinds of things have they said that they've been helped with?
Yeah, so I recommend the Palm Light to anybody who's kind of got chronic issues, and they have bought it, and a lot of them, though, I have to say, are doing other things at the same time. So I was a little bit unique that I was just using the light therapy.
Right.
I wasn't using other medications. Most of the people that have bought the light from you, my friends, they are also on pain management medication and stuff like that. So I think it's a little bit harder to tell. But yes, they're using them for one friend is a chronic arthritis in his neck. My other friend, she has knee problems, arthritis in her knees. and my, who else? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and
Yeah.
it brings them some relief.
It
It
brings,
helps.
absolutely. It brings them relief. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Erika, I'm so glad you were able to share this. And if you can hang in there, just turn off your video. And later
Okay.
on, there probably be a question or two that for the audience out there that has questions to direct to Erika, she can share something if there's something a question that you have. Otherwise, we're going to thank you, Erika, for being on for now. And we'll get you back on a little
My
later.
pleasure.
But now we're going to have our next guest on, a Marine. Marine, if you want to turn on your video, that'd be great. You're up.
Yes, great.
How you doing?
Well, I am doing so much better than I was before. And I'm just so thankful for you, Tom, and for the red light therapy. I just wanted to say that I was recommended by three different friends at three different times. And they said what a difference that it had made in their lives. So they said, you have to go. And they also said, you're so close in distance as well, which was an added blessing. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's already made a big difference. Yes. So
So, your friends told you you should try and come to our facility and try it out. So, what kinds of things were you dealing with?
okay. So I have had severe chronic pain from osteoarthritis.
Okay.
And that's been going on for at least 7 years. And then also before that, it's a condition that's a little more rare, and it's polymyalgia rheumatica.
Okay.
And that kind of went into commission, it into just where because of all of that I was doing, it went into remission.
Mm-hmm.
But then I wondered, because that was just excruciating pain, and we're talking all over the body.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just maybe for about 2 years that I said, oh, me, I'm healed or something. But it was a little bit of remission. But then when I went to the doctors and they did x-rays, they said, well, it's turned into osteoarthritis.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I've been in so many car accidents and throughout my life. And again, because of that, I would do physiotherapy. I'd go to chiropractors. I had to do everything naturally because the doctors and surgeons didn't want to do surgery on me. And I
Okay.
was telling you today, it's because I have that blood clotting disorder.
Okay. So, if they
So,
did do surgery, there could be a big problem that they'd run into.
yes, yes. And they went into the whole list. They said there's so much high risk that could happen to you right on the operating table.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. 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 And I mean, my husband can tell you too and verify everything. And of course, with all the doctor's notes and everything. Yeah, so we're talking, I've already seen two orthopedic surgeons and they wanted me to go to even the Toronto Hospital, Mount Sinai, and
Mm-hmm.
everything. But this came up even before that happened,
Okay.
of coming to see you,
Okay.
right? And having the red light therapy. So it was even the first time I came in. I literally couldn't believe it because I told you this today, major insomnia for years, like just decades. Anybody that knows me, why are you up in the middle of the night? Why are you sending me messages in the middle of the night? And it's because I just couldn't sleep. Chronic pain and trauma. And trauma was also because we lost our son instantly and suddenly back in
Mm.
2006.
Oh, I'm sorry
So
to hear that.
that all had to do with the trauma, as well as a lot of people have felt that that trauma has added to the chronic pain as well.
Hmm.
Even though I know where he is, and it's just they said, because it's just an underlying thing.
Hmm.
But anyways, so now I'm going into this deep sleep. And then I'm even in the morning. I used to be the lightest sleeper. And now I'm going, ooh, okay. I wake up in the morning and I'm like, something miraculous is happening to me. And there's nothing different that I'm doing. There's nothing different. I wasn't on any pain pills. I would pray every night and say, God, like you have to help me here, because I don't believe in taking pain pills because it's going to be a band-aid.
Right.
And so you see what I'm saying? There's nothing different that I'm doing other than the red light therapy twice a week, right?
Hmm.
So and I'm it's been today was my sixth session.
So you noticed some relief, and was it even the first session that you noticed an improvement in sleep?
Yes, yeah. And I wondered, it had to have been that. There's nothing different.
Right,
Because the
right,
thing
right.
is I swim 4 times a week, and I do exercises for 2 hours each session.
Okay.
And I am like avid exercising in a warm pool.
Hmm.
And I'm thinking, well, why isn't that helping me with the pain? Why, like, it's only helping me while I'm in the water. And then when I get out, I don't notice any difference.
Right.
And so this is the only thing that's different that I'm doing.
And you're using at the facility here, you're using the helmet as well, right? So you're using the
Yes,
helmet and you're going under the large canopy. Same thing
yes,
like Erika Froze was talking about earlier, that she
yes,
used the large panel, and that's what she
yes.
had at her home. I mean, she was in so much chronic pain that and they did well through their business, and they decided to do this for the future of her health. And yeah, a person can buy a really fancy car, but it doesn't help you at all with your pain. But
Well, you know what they say is health is wealth.
oh
If
yeah,
you right, if you don't have your health, what do you have?
yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Now,
it's
the other big thing is while the helmet's on me, I have the palm on my thumb, my right thumb.
okay.
I've been a piano player for all my life, since age 5. And I have been very actively involved in playing the piano and singing. And the
Would that be
last,
at the church then?
yes, but
Okay,
4 years I haven't been able to play because
okay.
the pain in my thumb is so bad, right?
Right.
And it is improving so much. Like it's like I've got mobility now, right? I even had to wear a thumb brace. It was so
Okay.
painful, right? I don't have to wear the thumb brace now.
Have you been able
So,
to play again or not yet?
well, I haven't tried it yet, but I can. I actually need to do that. That's a good thing to do.
But
Yeah,
you got
yeah.
some mobility back on that thumb.
Yes, I do. Yeah,
Uh,
I'm able to write. I do fancy writing as well. I'm able to write again. So I was able to write in some cards. And the other thing I noticed too is my hands were shaking before. And my hands are like I've noticed I'm not like I would say probably 30% is no, maybe even more, 50%, where I just noticed that my hands aren't shaking. So
yeah.
I'm thinking like that's another improvement,
Oh, that's
so
beautiful.
yeah, and I'm thinking that's only 6 times.
Wow. Wow. And that's over a period did you do the six
Okay.
times?
So I started about the second week in May.
Okay,
So
just in
yeah,
this past May,
yeah, yeah,
2026. Yeah. And
yes,
okay, so yeah, 6 weeks. You got it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Second week. Did you say second week in May?
Well, it would have been the second week, but we had to go up north for 1 week of that,
Oh, I see.
right?
Okay. All
And
right.
we've gone like twice, in the week. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Twice a week
yes,
and then six times over the 4 week period kind of thing.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay. Wow. That's Maureen, I thank you for sharing your story. Wait, the number of people that'll hear this that are dealing with chronic pain is something else. And
yeah,
you're going to be, you like Erica are going to be sharing or you have shared the hope that you can have using light
yeah,
therapy. It's
yeah.
amazing how
Yeah,
this can
and
make
I
such a
am sharing it because people are already noticing a difference and they're going, "What are you doing?" And so then I immediately tell them because you want to share and give others hope because people knew like that would see me now. They knew that I still, would have the joy through the pain, but I don't know why, but it's especially through the night, the pain would get excruciating. I thought, no, I still don't want to take a pill. Now I don't have any pain. So like, and that's 6 sessions. So like, you know,
That's
like,
beautiful. That's
right.
beautiful.
So it's like, this is the answer, whatever it's doing something to that osteoarthritis. Now, because it was like maybe I'd only had maybe 3 sessions before I went up north, I went, oh, I got to get back to the red light therapy because the pain started a little bit. And then I thought, no, I got to get back. But you see, now that I've been keeping on coming, there's the accumulation. And I do believe that once you keep going and keep doing it, it's the accumulation that helps you too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you're
Right?
exactly right. Yeah,
Right? Because here's the thing. If I just went swimming like once in every 6 months, I'm not going to notice any difference at all.
right.
Right? Right. So I totally believe in that. I totally believe in persistence, determination, all of
Mm.
those things. And that's what
Uh,
I've been doing.
Excellent, excellent. Okay,
Yes.
so Maureen, I'm going to have you back in just a bit when we start getting into the questions, but thank you so much for sharing your story, and maybe somebody's going to have a question for you yet coming up here. So we're going to just
Okay.
go to a short video, and then we'll go from
Okay.
there. Okay? 15 years back, I realized that light could make a huge difference on the body. I ended up designing this very powerful light using LED technology. With this amount of very high power density, it can reach through the tissues and travel right to the joints. But the key is that the power density and the area is extremely important to deliver that light into that. The mitochondria receives that light and converts that energy into the cell. So it's like giving the cell super high octane fuel, and they run like a jet, and they're able to do all the things for repair in that. What are the products we have? Well, we have a small device, which is actually large when it comes to light therapy. You have a fairly large area of light and a high power density that can be used for different parts of the body, like your fingers, shoulder, back, neck, knees, ankle, anywhere on the body. And then we have what's called the Mini Canopy, which is about a foot square in size. And then we have our full-size canopy, which is basically 6 of the mini canopies. And then we have another device, which is the helmet, and that device can help for mental issues, for brain injuries, for concussions, for PTSD, TBI, all of those kinds of things. And there's new research out there that shows it could be helpful for not only strokes, but dementia, Alzheimer's, and Parkinson's, and just different brain issues. Our plans are to move this technology into every area of the world where there's pain and inflammation, which is basically everywhere. and to expand that so people understand all the applications where this technology can be used to help them in their health in the body as a wellness device. People are looking for how they can treat themselves without drugs. All right, so we got some questions rolling in. Yeah, so we have the different devices. We have the Palm Lights, the three different models, the Professional, the Ultimate, and the Super Palm. And you can look them up on the web. All three of them are very, very beneficial. Super Palm happens to be the most advanced with the 1050 nanometer wavelength. And yeah, so that's we have these three devices, and then we also have the Mini Canopy that I was showing earlier, and that's like a foot square. And then we have the helmet, which I've used for different parts. Well, it can be used for different parts of the body. So I'm coming here a little bit on an angle with this device, but it just has on the stand, there's the red light, red wavelength, and I would do this for 1 minute of that. And on the near infrared wavelength, which doesn't look very visible, like you can't see much in the camera right now, but that's going actually far, far deeper in through the skull, well into the brain. So we have that's the with the helmet. So we have two different models. We have the regular helmet and the super helmet with the 1050 nanometer. So that's our different, and then we have the large canopy that was shown there as a device that can treat a very large area of the body. So yeah, I laugh at this one. Jennifer is saying, I'm using it on my fish. Who knows? I'll keep you posted. Well, that will be, I wouldn't mind hearing of how your fish do. If they start multiplying and you end up with a large school of fish, well, let us know about that. That's kind of funny. Um, so the first guest, that her name was Erika. Erika, with her dry eyes, it helped. And I've had some other people improve with dry eyes as well. And what happens is that it helps the cells around the eyes, that it gives energy to the cells, and then the cells start working better. So that's how come you can help, whether it's the eyes, whether it's the brain, whether it's hearing, whether it's problems with the throat, uh, thyroid issues, right down to gut issues, to using it on the hip or down at the for diabetic foot ulcers on the foot, or I'll think of the term, but when runners get it, it happens to the ball of the foot. Now I'll think of it. But anyways, anywhere on the body can be helped with the light therapy. So there's another comment that came in here from Jennifer. The helmet has rid me of neck pain. I have not been to your office for 1.5 weeks, as I have to come only when my job takes me to a customer around the corner. She stays at work at 4 till 4:30, and the neck pain is creeping back. So you need to come out again. Anyways, truly God's work, Tom. And well, thank you very much, Jennifer, for the kind comments. Yeah, so if you have some questions for, please, if there's a question for Erika or for Maureen, let us know here. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, what else here as far as questions? I'll just mention that the light is very, very safe to use all over. We have had people improve with problems with their eyes, and that is using the Palm any one of the three palm series. You use 1 minute of the red with the eyelids closed, everybody, eyelids closed, 1 minute of the bright red, and 1 minute of the near infrared, which you just switch with this little toggle switch. And you do that for both eyes. And if you go to our YouTube channel, you can see people that have improved dramatically, including some people with total blindness. Have one person in particular, 3 years of total blindness, and was able to start seeing so well that he's gone back to driving his motorcycle and also being a motorcycle mechanic. So it's helped his eyes greatly. We've had people with wet macular degeneration as well as dry macular degeneration improve. So that's kind of neat as well. Other eye issues like cataracts and other things. Now, I'm not a medical doctor. I can't diagnose anything, but if I had some kind of eye issues, I do know I want to someday, hopefully, I treat myself enough that I can actually get rid of my readers. That would be wonderful, but I still need them for reading things on the screen. But we have had some people actually with their the low end prescriptions actually get rid of their readers. But it hasn't helped. It hasn't happened yet for me. So everybody's different. Question came in here from Liz. What are the side effects? Liz, there's really no side effects to this type of treatment. It's really wonderful. The only thing we are going to say is that in when you're treating your brain with our devices, we usually suggest you start off a little slower. Like in it depends on the type of condition. I do know that we've been able to see some autistic kids being helped, being more regulated by using the light. So it's a case of don't push it too fast. Just do shorter treatments, and then you can work your way up to longer treatments. The one girl with the seizures that had 10 to 15 seizures a day, um, uh, in her case, she was able to use the helmet, and the mother borrowed the helmet from us, this device, and she used it only for 30 seconds of red and 1 minute of near infrared. And what happened was that within 24 hours of the first treatment, she was down to one seizure a day. And that's been for the last 3 months. As a matter of fact, the last month, they increased the treatment time to doubling it twice a day, doing twice a day treatments. And she's now at one seizure every 4 to 5 days. So, really big improvement for this young girl that's 7 years old. And she's been able to improve her abilities even at school and be able to catch up now with many of the other kids in the class. So, it's pretty neat. Um, Jennifer is mentioning my hairstylist noticed a difference in my hair. Any of your guests experience the same? Absolutely. We got one of our webinars. I did not expect it at all. The one woman came on and she went and after she was telling how it helped her with, I think it was insomnia and a few other things. She says, "Oh, and another thing." And she goes like this. And she says, "See, look at all the extra hair I have." And there was, I guess it had really, really thinned out. So yes, Jennifer, you're not alone. That's one thing. It can help with hair growth. Now, we haven't been pushing that side of things, but definitely there's a possibility that that could help. So yeah, just 1 second here. I just got to respond to another. There we go. So yeah, definitely can help with hair growth. It just depends on if if this hair follicles are dead, like the area where the hair is generated, then no amount of light is going to help you. But if there's anything left that can be used to grow and help those cells to work properly, then there's a possibility that hair growth can come back. So yes, there is. So Ronald's is asking, is there any caution about using the light on a knee that has been replaced with steel? No, there is no problems with whether there's plates or screws or people, have jaw reconstruction. They got a plate in there. It does not cause a problem. The only thing that will happen is if you have a plate, it might take a little longer for the light or longer treatment time for the light to get around the plate if it's a bigger plate, but definitely to be able to use that. Another person coming on, Deborah, if you could comment back in the thing, you mentioned your hair is growing too. What is it that you're using? Is it helmet or are you using the palm light? I'd love to hear about that. So if you want to type that in. Okay, you're using the super palm. So you're using the super palm, you just put it on the area. And generally, if you're just looking for hair growth, it can be a very short treatment, like 30 seconds red and like 30 seconds near infrared, and you just go and treat all the way around the skull or the areas that you're trying to treat. That'll be far brighter. As well, if anybody's doing treatment for their sinuses, this is a great tool for the sinuses. I know people that have had allergy symptoms and stuff that they've been able to improve their sinuses by using the red and near infrared. So that's kind of like our generalized treatment of 1 minute red and 3 minutes of the near infrared for the brain. Now, does that mean that if you do double that, it's going to be a problem? No, we've got people using the light much, much longer. If you're below the neck, really you can treat as long as you pretty much want. But again, I would always start with lower amounts. Now, if you happen to be only interested in treating the skin for some kind of skin issue, then keep it shorter because your skin doesn't need that much to for penetration wise. So you might again be 30 seconds red, 30 seconds near infrared, or if with deeper wounds, we know that we've had people increase that to like 2 minutes and red and let's say 4 minutes in near infrared or something along that lines on the wound area. But you don't, if it's an open wound, you can actually pull it back a little bit if you don't want to touch the surface. If it's easier for you to rest it against the surface, you can always put some saran wrap over the area so that if you have any contaminants, they won't end up on the device. You can always wipe down the device with rubbing alcohol to disinfect it. Just wipe it. It has no issues with alcohol being used as a device. Those little hand towelettes with the alcohol in them work great. So Annie is saying, "Hi Tom, thanks for your work. Please explain the use of the for dental problems. I saw an applicator that goes into a specific area." That's correct, Annie. We have a device that for the others that are looking, it's called the oral probe, and it just snaps into the front of this, and it's a little finger device that picks up the light and allows it to come down the probe and then out the tip. So you can put it on more specifically on a very, spot that you have something going on. So not a problem with, or easier to do with more energy at that spot. You can also do it through the cheek or open your mouth and let the light come in that way. And the light can go in and help, but you can go through the cheek as well. Jennifer, good question. Do the lights weaken with use? No, they don't. You'd have to do like there's studies that have been done on these LEDs that tell us we could be up to 50,000 hours of use, and we should be only looking at maybe a 10% reduction of 10% reduction of light output. So you'd have to use it for 25 years for 2,000 hours year before you get into a 10% reduction. And one of the things that why I feel very, very comfortable quoting that is because that's based on the LEDs inside this device, inside of any device running at about 80 degrees C. And I run the LEDs much, much cooler. They're running at 45 degrees C. So I'm really being super, super nice to these LEDs. So that usually the light gives yeah, okay, thank you very much. So one person asked about the oral device. That just goes on to the tip like this, and we do this. And then we have the light coming out of the tip, as you can see here. See, as I go close, you can see how high amount of light is directed right on that area. So let's see if I can do it this way. There you go. So inside, you can just imagine that light coming in through that little probe. So it's very, very easy to reach back areas of the mouth and do treatments in a shorter amount of time. And you can turn this device around and turn it so that it's in the upward position so it can reach the top of your mouth or other areas by having that in whatever direction you find. And then the other hole that's there on these devices, this one here, is to move the oral probe into the other hole for the other wavelength. This would be the 1050 nanometer, which is coming through that device. So you can see it coming out of that tip there right now. You can't really see it visibly. Nope. Well, maybe. Yeah. Okay. I can't show it. I'd like to try and show it, but I can't. Yeah, one thing is if you like to travel, we do have this now coming out. We have a case that the oh, okay, so there's another question that came up here. But we have a case that this comes with, so you can take this in your travel case, like you can bring it on the aircraft. As a matter of fact, a lot of the aircrafts now for longer flights have a plug on them. So you can literally just plug this in underneath the seat and do a light treatment on the plane if you have a sore tooth or sinus problems or some other problems. Now, obviously, you might not want to use the bright red because the person behind you might not be too happy about you using the light that way. So you might want to just use the near infrared for your area of you're trying to treat if it's neck or something like that. But yeah, and so uh, question, don't you put it on the low light, not the high? You actually use both. So it's not low light and high light. It's actually a bright 660 nanometer wavelength, which you can see is going right through my hand right now. And then we have the 10, in this case, this is our super palm, and you can see the purplish dots. I can't see them. They're totally invisible to my eyes, but that's actually coming much further through my hand than this wavelength, even though it shows up, you can see it. So the both wavelengths are very, very helpful, even though it's dim. If you have the ultimate, it's a dim wavelength, or if you're looking at the super palm, it's totally invisible to your eye. You can't see anything, but you can definitely feel the energy coming off of it. So okay. So if I couldn't see it here, but comment came back. They could see the light coming out of the probe on that wavelength. I'm going to try that again because I thought that was kind of cool. So yeah, there's the one wavelength, and then this is the near infrared wavelength. Let's see. I don't know if I can see it or not, but there's a little bit of purpley look coming out of there. But anyways, it's a very powerful amount of light coming off that one LED that's coming through the tip of this device. Okay, so well, I think we've answered all the questions. Maureen and Erica, do you want to come back on for just a sec? If you can turn on your cameras and your audio. There we go. You can turn on there we go. I want to thank both of you for coming on tonight. That was fabulous. I think you've given some people some hope out there. Because if you, it, I don't, it, when you're going through these long periods of pain, it can be pretty depressing. A lot of, but you just keep trying to cope under the situation. But you guys are troopers. You've made it. You're,
Yes.
Yeah.
And with the thanks of you, Tom. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank
Well,
you very
I
much.
thank you very much for
Yeah.
sharing your stories tonight and to the folks. And
My
I
pleasure.
wish you guys, as well as all those that were able to watch tonight, God's richest blessings. All the
Thank you.
best to
Yes.
you.
And same to
Yes.
you.
All right. Thank
And
you.
Okay.
And hi,
oh,
America.
bye.
Yes.
Thank
God
you.
bless you. Yes.
You as well.